It all started at one of those places most people think is out of reach, somewhere you can only dream of stepping into. Honestly, I wasn't the kind of person who lived in that world. But one incident changed everything for me, and I realized that sometimes you don't need to prove anything through money or luxury, just through self-respect and determination. It was early in the morning, the sun was just rising, and my younger brother, Terrence, and I decided to go check out the hypercar we'd always dreamed of. We didn't have much money, but the passion for those cars was undeniable. I'm Cameron, 17 years old, tall, lean, and kind of awkward, while Terrence is 15, smaller than me, but his eyes were full of curiosity and wonder. We were both wearing simple clothes, old combat shorts, white t-shirts, and sneakers that had seen better days. Nothing fancy, no designer labels. Just two kids with big dreams. We walked into the Arlington Prestige Motors dealership, a high-end showroom that was way beyond anything we could afford. As we stepped through the door, no one really noticed us except for a few glances, the kind that are more about disapproval than anything else. We walked directly to the Venom GT, a sleek, polished hypercar sitting in the center of the showroom, shining under the lights. I can't even describe the feeling of seeing that car in person. It was like standing in front of a dream, something we hadn't allowed ourselves to think we could ever have. I turned to Terrence and pointed at the car. There it is, Terrence. The one I've been telling you about. Terrence's eyes widened as he stared at the car. We stood there for a moment, not saying anything, just soaking it in. But we didn't belong here, not in their eyes. And then a voice broke our reverie. Can I help you? The voice was cold, dismissive. It didn't even try to hide the disdain. I looked up and saw him, Bradley Shore, the top salesman. He was in a perfectly fitted navy suit. Everything about him screamed wealth and superiority. I took a deep breath and tried to remain calm. We were just curious about the Venom GT. Does it really go from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds? Bradley didn't answer right away. He looked me up and down, starting from my shoes, then my shorts, as if he was making a judgment about my worth based on my appearance. He smirked. You do know this car starts at $2.8 million, right? He said, dragging out every word, as if I wouldn't be able to comprehend the number. Maybe you'd be more comfortable looking at something less advanced. We don't usually give tours. I could feel the sting, but I try not to show it. We're not here to waste anyone's time, I said, forcing the words out through gritted teeth. I turned to leave, Terrence following behind me. Our footsteps echoed lightly on the marble floor, and the glass doors slid open with a soft hiss, but it felt more like a dismissal. We were halfway down the steps when a voice called out behind us. Wait. We stopped. A woman appeared from behind a desk. She was dressed in black slacks and a cream blouse, her curly hair pulled neatly into a bun. Her name tag read, Clarissa Hale. Do you have a minute? She asked, her voice gentle and calm. She didn't look at us like we didn't belong, or like we were just wasting her time. She looked at us like we were real people. Terrence and I exchanged a glance before I nodded, pushing our bikes back inside. Clarissa didn't treat us like we were invisible. She treated us like we mattered. She crouched down to our level, showing us the details of the car, answering our questions, letting us sit inside it. It wasn't rushed or impersonal. She really took the time to make us feel welcome. When we left, she handed me her card. If you ever have more questions, feel free to call me directly. You're always welcome here. I took her card like it was made of gold. We left with our heads held a little higher. Inside, Bradley muttered to a coworker, wasting her time. But Clarissa didn't care. She knew. Because something about those boys about us had stuck with her. The way we asked questions, the way we didn't shrink in the face of their judgment, the way we refused to back down. We rode home in silence, side by side. The weight of what had just happened sat heavily on our shoulders, but neither of us said anything. The bikes hummed quietly beneath us, wheels spinning along the smooth pavement of Lake Forest, where the streets were lined with perfectly manicured lawns and silent Teslas. Neither of us noticed any of it. We were lost in our thoughts. When we reached home, the gate automatically opened with a soft whir, recognizing the chip in my key fob. The mansion beyond looked like it belonged to someone who had already won the war, not someone angry at the world. As we coasted up the driveway, we didn't speak. Inside the house, everything felt strangely still. We walked past the minimalist staircase, the gallery wall of black and white photographs, and reached the hallway where the grand piano used to fill the house with music. But today, The piano stood silent. Our father, Dr. Nathaniel Wells, sat at the piano, not playing, just thinking. A tumbler of amber liquid sat untouched on the side table. When we entered, he didn't look up. He didn't need to. Back already? He asked in a voice that was calm, almost too calm. We hesitated. I closed the door quietly behind us, the click of the door too loud in the stillness. Yeah, Terrence said. We didn't stay long. Our father turned slightly, his eyes meeting ours. He didn't say anything, just studied us carefully, his gaze intense but not judgmental. Everything okay? I opened my mouth to say, yeah, we're fine, but something in his eyes, something in the stillness of the room made me say something different. No, I said quietly. Not really. He gestured to the leather armchairs by the fireplace. Sit down. We dropped our backpacks and sank into the chairs. The room was silent, except for the faint ticking of an antique clock. The jazz from upstairs still lingered in the air. Our father didn't speak immediately. He swirled the drink in his glass, set it down without tasting it, and turned his chair more toward us. Tell me what happened. The story came slowly. I went first, my words stiff at first, like they might fall apart if I wasn't careful. We went to Arlington Prestige, the exotic car dealership. We weren't messing around. We just wanted to see the Venom GT in person. We were polite. We didn't touch anything. We just looked. Nathaniel nodded slowly, encouraging me to go on. Then what? Terrence leaned forward, elbows on his knees, hands clenched together tightly. One of the guys there, he looked at us like we were trash. He laughed, said the car was almost $3 million, told us we were in the wrong place. Other people laughed too. I didn't even realize they were listening until they started smiling at us like we were some joke. He paused, his jaw tight. It was embarrassing. The air in the room thickened, but not with rage. It was something deeper. I looked down at my hands. But then this woman, Clarissa, she stepped in after the others brushed us off. She actually talked to us, explained everything, let us sit inside the car, gave me her card. Nathaniel leaned back, the leather creaking beneath him. His expression didn't shift, but there was something in the way he stilled completely still that told me everything had changed. He didn't ask us to say more. He didn't need to. Did she know who you were? He asked quietly. I shook my head. No, we didn't say our last name. Nathaniel murmured, almost to himself. Then why do you think they treated you that way? Terrence answered first. Because of our clothes. I nodded. Because of our skin. Nathaniel didn't nod. He didn't disagree either. He stood up, walking to the window. People often confuse appearance with value, he said finally. And that tells you more about them than it ever will about you. The next morning, everything was set in motion. Dr. Nathaniel Wells had made his decision, and he didn't need to raise his voice to make his point. At exactly 8:45 a.m., two Aurelius boat loom Hyper Carson obsidian black with silver carbon accents, the other deep royal blue with gold details pulled up in tandem in front of the dealership. They didn't roar or rev their engines. They simply arrived, silent, poised, powerful. The dealership staff froze. Customers stared. Phones came out, but no one moved closer. They didn't dare. I stepped out of the black car first, wearing the same white t-shirt and combat shorts. Nothing had changed except the way I carried myself. Terrence followed, his gaze steady, confident. And then our father stepped out, dressed in a tailored charcoal suit. He was a man who didn't need to prove anything to anyone. When he touched the pavement, the air shifted. Bradley Shore was in the middle of a conversation with a coworker when he saw us through the glass. His face drained of color, and for the first time in his career, he felt the glass wasn't a shield, it was a warning. We walked toward the doors. The receptionist froze, then nodded. I'd like to speak with the staff member who assisted my sons yesterday, Nathaniel said. His voice was calm, deliberate. Bradley stepped forward with a forced cheer. Sir, that was me. Nathaniel didn't even look at him. No, he said simply. The truth had already been revealed. The staff member who helped us was Clarissa Hale. Bradley had misrepresented the interaction, and now he would pay the price. Bradley was escorted out, and in that silence, we saw the quiet power that our father carried with him. Nathaniel turned to Clarissa. Keep doing what you did, he said. Kindness doesn't go unnoticed. Not forever. The world had just witnessed something. A quiet reckoning. What do you think? Was it right for Nathaniel to handle the situation the way he did? Do you think people should be judged by their appearance or by their true worth? Leave your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to share this story. Let's keep the conversation going.